Hey lovelies, let's try and pretend that we're not sick. Yep, cool. So this is the look that we're creating today. It's nice and colourful, warm tones, all that good stuff to make you look as vibrant as possible so that people don't notice when you're actually coughing up a lung in the latest toilets or wherever you may need to cough a lung. Because we've all got to keep on working, right? But obviously if you are really sick, PSA, please don't bring those germies to work, but some occasions you have to carry on. So let's just, you know, get started with true form. Oh, there it is. So starting off, you've obviously got your moisturizer on, and when you're sick you often get quite a few breakouts, so I like to use my Cover FX mattifying primer with salicylic acid, and I just dab this all over my face and I smooth it out. Then we're taking our Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, and this is in the shade light beige or soft ivory. I'll have them all probably on the screen and also down below. Then we're taking our beauty blender, and I like to just like pat this face, so it's quite important to not like rub things in. If you want to get a much more flawless finish, obviously when you're sick you tend to get a bit clammy and you want to have a nice matte finish, so it's really important to just pat that and push it into your pores. Then I'm taking Photo Focus concealer in 2 shades again, which was on the screen before and also down below. And using that same beauty blender, I like to just dab this in, and this is kind of the technique that I find works the best for coverage. See how much better you're looking already? But we've got to work on those dark under eye circles. This is Pixi by Petra, and this is my favourite colour corrector. Honestly, it's so good for under the eyes. We're using the MOTD brush, which is called Conceal Your Secret, to work on those dark blue under eye circles, and you can tell quite a bit of peachy difference. So I'm taking the Kat Von D Lock-It Cream Concealer in the shade L1. This really helps to brighten up underneath the eyes, and I just like to apply this straight with a wand using just one application, and then I use the damp beauty blender again to just try and pat that out into a kind of triangular shape. We're looking a little bit more awake. Then taking the Photo Focus eyelid primer, I then just apply this using my fingers, and I use like just smaller than a pea-sized amount. This on very gently. Then using the Eye of Horus Husk Brow Fibre Extend to try and like fill my sparse brows in. If you do not have sparse brows, then you don't need to worry about this step. Then using the Anastasia Beverly Hills DIPBROW pomade in the shade Blonde, because it actually really makes your face look a lot more youthful as well, I tend to find, if I've got like filled in eyebrows. Otherwise I tend to look like I'm kind of fading into the wall. My main focus is really on trying to make sure that line is nice and crisp, and also just filling in the gaps, because I tend to find that this just looks a lot better, especially if you've got like a bit more of a heavy eye look. And also if you're not feeling that great, if your brows if your brows are looking good, then you feel much better. Well, I tend to find that anyway. And then to bake under our eyes to make sure that our weepy sicky eyes do not ruin the entire face, using the Kat Von D Lock-It loose powder, and this is in the shade Translucent, and applying this using a Real Techniques sponge. Then I'm taking Blend-In BESTIE by Cosmetics, and I'm going in with Beaches and Cream, and I'm just going to put this up almost to the brow bone. So as you can see, using nice big circular motions, this kind of almost acts like our transition shade, and just I find that using these sort of warmer colours makes you look a lot more alive. Then I'm Shady Lady brush by MOTD Cosmetics again, and taking Cocoa Bear by MAKEUPGEEK, and oh my gosh, look how saturated this colour is. I love it so much. It makes any eye colour like pop that much more. Just making sure to really blend this out, because it really does make quite a difference when you blend properly. And then we're taking again at that Beaches and Cream shade. It's really nice and warm, and I just pack this on the lid using my eye-catching crease brush, just carrying it up a little bit into the inner corner, and then we're basically done with our top lid. And then underneath I'm taking Latte, which I'm just sweeping underneath the eyelid first. Then going back with Cocoa and that Miss Shady Lady brush once again, just dragging that just up with that so it's very close to the lash line. By the way, a Netflix documentary I've been watching recently is Rotten, and this is the one about cows and milking, and yeah. Found it very hard to watch, obviously, and some of the stuff they're doing, oh my gosh, stopped. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I do recommend checking it out. By the way, the next step that we're doing is just sweeping away that baking, because we don't need that to carry us throughout the day. We should be set by now. And to set the rest of our face, taking the Cover FX setting powder. This is in the shade Light. And you can apply this with a brush if you like. This is my Set and Go brush by MOTD Cosmetics. So recently I've gotten into using the Beauty Blender again and just making sure to press that into the pores. And then of course we have to line those lids. So using Trooper, this is a tattoo liner. And honestly, I always find that when I have a when I've got like a winged liner, I just feel better in myself. I don't know about you, but I just find that it boosts my confidence that much more. And the scariest part is trying to make sure that those lines are actually even. They might be, they might not be. Just good luck. And then we're using some blush. So this is a nice light pink shade. I find that for me, I just feel better using that. And this is by e.l.f. in the shade Shy. And I'm using my Get Cheeky With It brush by MOTD Cosmetics. And I just like to pat this into the apples of the cheeks and go a little bit higher. And to sculpt those cheekbones that we so don't have, I'm using Supermodel Sculpt with my very dusty palette. And this is the shade BREAKUP by MAKEUPGEEK. It's the lightest shade of her contour powders, and I tend to find that this actually works really well. Like, the pigmentation is not too strong, but also once you've got like kind of a 3D looking face, don't you just look and feel that much better in yourself? I certainly find I do, and I like to bring this around my temples as well. Then we're using Wet n Wild Colour Icon in Reserve Your Cabana. Then I'm using my Mr. Handyman brush by MOTD Cosmetics. It's going to apply this just where the light should hit your cheekbones. You know, it's kind of like a believable glow. This isn't like one of those like glare and punch you in the face kind of highlighters, just a healthy wing. Then I'm using my Biolash Lift Mascara by Eye of Horus Cosmetics. I find this works really well. It's nice and easy to use. They do have waterproof mascaras, but I find that those can like irritate my eyes sometimes. I haven't tried out this brand though. But I like this brush a hell of a lot because it actually gets like the individual lashes. And ta-da! Oh my gosh, we got changed. This is our work uniform? What? Yes. So now we're on to our lips. Choices. First off, MAKEUPGEEK in Cha Cha. And 2 is by Colourpop, and this is the shade Fresh Cut in the Ultra Matte Lip range. Otherwise, we've got Proper by MAKEUPGEEK, which is a really nice mauve sort of shade, but I've decided let's go bold, let's go Cha Cha. Then we've got to line our lips first, so we're using the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Never Petal Down. Now, of course, like when you're sick, I personally find that my lips can fade really like cracky and stuff, so I find that using not only a lip but also lining your lips properly helps your lips stay on for longer throughout the whole day, especially if you really want to like look good throughout the day. And then we're using Chances by MAKEUPGEEK, and obviously I've used this shade a lot because I'm kind of running out of it, but also I find that this shade only stains your lips once it wears down, so even if you don't want to touch up your lips throughout the day, like I find that it just creates a really nice sort of flushed look still. Then I'm using the Photo Focus Setting Spray. This is obviously the matte one because we want our face to stay in place. And this is by Wet n Wild. It's all part of the same range and they work really well together. And look how much better we're looking now. Oh my gosh, you guys. Like I said, just using like a nice bold lip, simple brown eyes, and I just feel so much better already. Even though, yes, you will weep a little bit throughout the day with your sinuses and stuff, but I do find that this stays in place and it works really well, and people can't tell that you're sick until you're sneezing. Thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also hit that bell notification down below and subscribe so then you can get notifications because I come out with 2 videos every week. I hope you all do feel much better than you do right now, and I'll see you lovelies again soon. Thank you so much. Bye!